Good morning, everyone. Dave Bush here, your host of Kansas Sports HQ, episode 36 today. We'll have Ty McPhail join us. He's with the University of Louisville and does track and field. Sheldon, Sean, how was your weekend?
Wonderful. The curse is broken.
The curse is broken. Explain the curse to the people.
For over a year and a half, probably almost, this is the second full football season. Any game we have ever, tried to watch of our teams here, and it doesn't matter whose it is, whether it's the Packers, the Chiefs, the Niners, if we've ever tried to watch a game here, our team that we were all collectively trying to root for has lost. And it was consistent, it was just bad. And it started out at, the first game of the lounge was the Chiefs and the Lions.
Last year.
That was last year's first game, and the Lions beat the Chiefs. And then it was just downhill sledding.
We kind of scattered, didn't we?
So then we got to the point where nobody wanted to watch a game here ever because it was just bad luck. But yesterday we had some ceiling tiles fall down, and I was out and about running some errands, and so I came up here and got those all taped up, and because they got kind of wrecked. Actually, I don't know if they got wrecked from falling or just because when they move them they don't care about them, but they were just wrecked. So I was sitting around and I was taping them, and then I had texted Sean about coming up, and then Sean fell asleep on his way, kind of, and then he was like, oh, hey, yeah, no, I'll come up there, no problem. So then he got up here, and by the time we got them both, because two full ones came down, so once we got them both put back in, the game was pretty much starting, and I was like, all right, let's see what happens.
We ball. Let's go.
Let's go. See what happens. So, yeah, no, that was fun, man. That was an exciting game, so shout out to Brian Patton and Alvin Dodson, all my my Bears buddies. So congrats on the loss. We appreciate you guys. So,
well, I appreciate the loss a little bit too, as the Niners have moved into the number 6 position.
The Bears are frauds. Caleb Williams is a weirdo.
And then last night's game, the Sunday Night Football game, wasn't exactly for anyone in the state of Kansas. It was kind of a backyard football feel.
Did you guys see the tweet about when Rashee Rice got his? It's a bad tweet, but did you see the guy? He was like, now Rashee Rice knows how it feels to get hit, and then everybody just leaves you there or something like that. I was like, oh my goodness.
Dude, I did see some crazy stuff. I saw Micah Parsons get held really, really, really bad, 3 times. Never got a call for that.
Never got a call.
Not a single flag.
And then
2 2 play extending drives, where this dude's head's getting into a chokehold, and they're like, nope.
Yeah.
His interview after the game was actually pretty cool. He's like, yeah, I guess holding's only if it's inside of the chest, and I'm just not doing a good enough job to get that call. And I'm like, he's
more
just
power
probably,
to you,
yeah,
fella.
He's just probably so used to it at this point. But
yeah, and then for what I did see, the Texans lining up almost a yard off of the neutral zone, and then them flinching, and everybody expecting a call. It was the first sack that Mahomes took.
Oh,
and it was they replayed it. They were like, we're going to put this under the microscope. They're like, wow, that guy is a yard off of the neutral zone, flinches, and then just tears right through him. Or even the move motion that happened for the Packers Bears game.
Oh yeah,
that was actually a false start.
Yeah, right before the touchdown run.
Yeah,
where also the running back got stalled up at the 1 and the 2.
Number 71 just took him in and was like, "I got you, boy."
Wow, that was a 100% flag. We were sitting. I was calling that.
They called it on the Bears.
They called it.
He stopped and pivoted, and then
he was like, I don't think the tight end really knew what he was doing right there, and it was like, he had no idea what he was doing, but no call, touchdown.
Right. Well, on the local side of things, I know high school basketball got going, and To be completely honest, I don't know enough about basketball in the area. We'll kind of focus on football and baseball, but trying to do my best to get some people on that are in the basketball world. So if you are listening and you know somebody in the local area, let's go ahead and send us some information on guys to have on for local basketball scene here in the greater Wichita area, so we can get that rolling. But
Wichita State had a big win this weekend.
Did they?
It was an old classic Missouri Valley matchup. They went up to Cedar Falls, played in Northern Iowa, and beat them for their first road win of the year. So that was good.
It's a good
Are
win.
they pretty tough? Like
You and I's been. Wait, who?
is their roster not very good, or
They have a couple good players. I've watched a little bit of them this year.
Yeah.
Their point guard who transferred in, I believe he's point guard. He's point guard or shooting guard. He's really good.
Yeah.
Shoot the lights out. But I think they're still figuring things out.
Yeah.
But
all I know is that the assistant coach's son plays on the YMCA basketball team that my brother coaches.
You got an in right there.
Oh, no, I don't actually. I talked to his wife the last time I was there, and she was like, good luck.
What?
I see him when he's here.
Yeah. I know that.
Basketball season, man.
Yeah,
crazy stuff.
I don't know.
That's a good win for Wichita State. I think they're 6-3 right now.
I feel like basketball is definitely a sport that's NIL hit pretty hard just because the roster's so small.
Oh yeah.
I think every year it's like you're starting with a new team every time.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. I mean, that transfer portal should be pretty hard. I mean, in my opinion,
at a school at Wichita State, like if you have anybody who has a good year, they're gone.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like you're gonna have a new basketball team. Like keeping some sort of a core at
it's hard
mid-level.
Even
probably impossible.
Even when you don't like Wichita State, they don't have a football team except for
the reserve.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
the afterthought.
Yeah. Other than that, but they still got to pay all their baseball guys too, and then all their women's basketball and all their women's volleyball.
I wish they paid their softball girls. WSU.
Oh, do they not?
I don't know.
I wish that. What do you mean?
They're better than most programs.
They have a good softball program.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that they have something.
But that's the NIL world. I mean, remember
women's NIL is probably nowhere near the men's side.
But a lot of these schools have rev shares now, so it'll all go into one. Like, there are some donations that go straight to a team.
I know the women's got a new indoor facility. I did see that.
But it's like, for instance, so like Iowa State, they went and played in this players tournament.
Yeah.
Like non-conference tournament.
Yeah.
And you get $1 million just for playing in it.
This was the first year of that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Or second year, I think.
Second.
Interesting.
And then if you get to the championship or third place game, you get even more for top 4. It was a weird system. But
wasn't that
$1 million didn't go to the basketball, it went to the rev share. So it kind of, I don't know if it's up to the discretion of the AD or what, but a portion of it went to the basketball team, but I think most of it went to the rev share for them hopping in there for the rest of the athletes, which, obviously they need those rev shares so it doesn't get, so all the fans will probably want to donate to their specific one, which, I don't know. It's kind of a mess.
Well, if you remember, a couple years ago, WSU bought out their AD's contract or whatnot, so they could bring somebody in that was pro NIL and things like that to begin the collective.
Yeah, they bought out their AD's contract. They had bought out their baseball coach's contract, their basketball coach's like. There's a lot of dead money.
Lots of
I think it's paid well, and then they're still paying their old basketball coach, the good
Mark,
the legend.
Was it Mark?
It wasn't Mark.
Not Mark. The one who supposedly hit a player.
A little more than that,
yeah. Coached him really hard.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Gave him that 90s coaching. Doesn't he coach at Maryland? No?
No, you're thinking of that was the guy before Turgeon.
Turgeon. Okay,
Turgeon
yeah,
was the
yeah,
guy
yeah, yeah, yeah.
before. He was
Mark
at
Turgeon.
yeah, he was in 2000s, and then he went to Maryland. He doesn't coach at Maryland anymore. He retired.
Okay.
He hit someone.
Why
right?
why can't we remember?
I don't know. The final,
Hey,
the
you
one,
said
the
legends,
sweet,
or
the
he
Sweet
said
16
legend.
guy.
Somebody said legend. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't remember his name, but he was a good coach.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
worked there. You should
Yeah,
know
but
his
he
name.
wasn't there when I was there.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they probably took his picture off the wall.
Isaac Brown was the guy after him. That's who was there when I first
Yeah.
started. And then now it's
Oh.
Paul Mills.
So
Interesting.
while we're on the college track, Ty McPhail will be joining us here soon, and he went to Andale.
Ty.
And he is a track and field athlete. From what I have pulled up, he was a 2-time state champion for Kansas, the 2021 high school All-American, Andale High School pole vault record holder. So, there's outdoor and indoor season stats here. I'd rather talk to him about those.
He should be getting on any minute now.
Yeah, at least we got the Central Standard Time figured out. As of right now, his career honors ACC academic honor roll from when he started that school 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. He's all ACC outdoor academic team, all ACC indoor academic team, CSC academic all district team, USTF CCCA. Wow, that's a mouthful. Academic team, NCAA East Regional qualifier, all ACC indoor second team pole vault, all ACC outdoor first team pole vault, and ACC outdoor bronze medal pole vault.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and he has a lot of different recruiting profiles, so I'm kind of curious which route he went to kind of take on the opportunity at Louisville. It says right now he's a redshirt senior.
Yep, that would be right.
And yeah, I mean, from how I've looked him up, his recruiting profile, he had like NCSA. Hold on, pull that up again. Open Doors, Huddle. Did he play football as well?
Yeah, I think he was a 3-sport athlete when he was coming to Parisi and at Andale. He has not been to the new facility. He came to the old facility.
Okay.
But I know track has always kind of been his main thing. But I think he's just a freak athlete. Dude's legit.
Yeah, I can only imagine mastering the leverage in pole vault. Just how all of that works. The
Fascia, baby.
Greg
Fascia.
Marshall. Greg Marshall.
Oh,
Greg Marshall.
I kept wanting to say Greg McDermott. I know that's incorrect. That's a different basketball coach.
Greg Maddox.
Sean McDermott.
No, it's
Greg Sean.
That's who.
Sean,
Got it.
yeah.
Sean
They're
Greg.
still paying him.
I can.
But
only
anyway,
imagine.
go ahead and resume. I had to. That was easy.
Yeah. It's okay. It's
Eating him
okay.
alive.
Whoa.
Hello.
Is he here?
Man, those are some neat headphones.
Thank you. I just got them, and I was having a time getting them to actually connect to my computer, so here we are.
Oh, fair enough.
Good morning, Ty. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Welcome to our Kansas Sports HQ show. We're just kind of reviewing some of your highlights from the last few years.
Busy guy.
Yeah.
Very busy beaver.
Yeah. Nice, man. Well, it's good to see you. I haven't actually seen you in person and been a little bit.
I was gonna say it's been a while.
I know. It's been a bit. But how is life?
Don't think I've been to your guys' new facility yet.
No, nope. I just said that actually. I was like, man, next time he comes around, you get in here. But how you been? How's life? How's living?
Pretty good. I've just been training a lot, and then I'm in my 5th year now. So just doing different school stuff. And yeah, I've already graduated, so now I'm just chasing more degrees.
There you go. Nice.
Are you in the master's program?
So actually I am doing a post-bac pre-med program. So I graduated with my degree in computer science and now I am doing prereqs for medical school.
Okay,
So a
that's
bit of a change.
Yeah.
a little bit of a, I guess, harder classes, maybe. I don't know. I mean, computer science, what statistics and all that stuff, coding.
Yeah, that wasn't super easy. It wasn't easy at all, but this is definitely, I would say, yeah, it's definitely harder. And it's going to get worse, especially once I
You're on
get
the
into
front
I
medical
mean,
school.
your
So
your anatomy and physiologies and all that fun
yeah,
stuff. I mean, as an athlete, you should be able to figure all of that out and make things come together a little
Are you
easier.
signing up basically for like 6 more years of school, basically?
yeah. So I have this year of undergrad still, next year of undergrad, and then 4 years of medical school, 4 years of residency, and then I get money. So
Oh yeah, you know.
Wow.
we got a little bit of time before anything
Yeah.
big happens.
Why
But
the switch up?
Um, I had an internship like no, I guess not this past summer, the summer before. And it was in like the IT computer science kind of stuff. And I just hated it. It was just like I didn't hate it. That's not a good word. The people were wonderful. But I just did not feel fulfilled in any regard. I just kind of felt like what I was doing was very meaningless and pointless. And I had always wanted to do medical, but kind of throughout high school, everybody had told me that was like not, you wouldn't be able to be a good athlete and be a good student, and you wouldn't be able to do both. Um, and while that might have been true when I first came into college, I've had friends that have been very successful, that have made it through a pre-med track and are now in medical school, and they did that while balancing. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I could have done that with what I came into college with. Um, but now I have a better handle on things and I'm able to balance that a lot better.
Nice, man. Well, yeah, best of luck on that because that's going to be way over my brain power. So good luck on that, and then I guess later in life you can be our doctor. So that'll be
Right,
cool.
right. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
There you go. Well, nice, man. Well, just to kind of give you a little bit of a, preface, we, kind of doing the podcast, we try to highlight local athletes that are obviously coming from the Wichita and surrounding area. Talk about your journey, your story, ask you some questions, and just kind of go into who you are and what you're all about. And we kind of started this podcast about a month ago, and we've been recording every day and just trying to stay consistent and tell people stories and have some fun while doing it. So that's kind of the goal of today is just to get to know you a little bit, share your story with some people because I think you got a cool story. I've obviously known you since you've been in high school and
Yeah.
now getting ready to graduate college or at least already graduated but going into more college. So so it's just kind of a it's a way, it's an outlet for that, so that way we can kind of highlight kids that are around our area because we don't get enough traction here, and I think that you'll have kind of a unique perspective on some of the NIL stuff and things like that because I've followed you and seen all the different things you've done. I remember you promoting these kale salads or whatever that was for a while. So you've gotten into doing some of that stuff. So I'd like to hear from the athlete perspective on that eventually. But let's rewind a little bit. Tell us where you're from, kind of what you started out doing sports wise. Kind of paint the picture on how we ended up going to Louisville and what that looked like, and then we'll kind of plug in some questions along the way.
Yeah, so I'm from Andale, Kansas. I went to Andale High School, which most people know for football. Unfortunately, I did not get the football genetics, so I was not very good at football, but I did play for 3 years. So I played, ton of sports throughout middle school, and elementary school, baseball, basketball. I did gymnastics for a while, and football, and I loved playing sports, but nothing really stuck. I didn't really love any sports except for gymnastics and track. I played football all through high school. Had a great experience, and I think it definitely shaped a little bit of work ethic and just like gave me a good knowledge of just athletics in general. And then I didn't play any other sports in high school. I just did track and I did football. And for those first few years, I'd lift all summer because at Andale that's what they do. They put you in a weight room once you can graduate the third grade. So I started lifting in I think fourth grade. And I'd been lifting all through that time. So once high school rolled around, lifted all summer. Then we did football stuff throughout the summer and through the fall. And then once right around after whatever state championships, um, I would transition to indoor season. And I did indoor track with Shocker Track Club, who's awesome. They have great facilities and it was a great situation. So I trained with them all through the indoor season, which we don't really have an indoor season in Kansas, but throughout that cold period. And then I would jump with the high school. And I did that for 3 years. And, even through that, I would jump, gosh, probably way too much. I was hitting 6 or 7 days a week, which I don't know if necessarily is productive for a high school athlete. But for me, I wasn't bringing too much thunder down the runway. So just being able to get the reps in and that body awareness was huge. I would train with Shocker Track Club, and then I would train at 2 different clubs, one in Kansas City and one in, where is it? Gosh, it's out by Smoky Valley. So I would do that on Sundays, Kansas City on Saturdays, and train regular through the week. And I did that for 3 years. And then eventually, once I jumped 16 feet at a summer practice my junior year, right before COVID. And I was like, all right, if I had told my parents, because I wanted to go big. So I was like, I told my parents, if I can jump 16 feet, I'm done with football and we're going to focus on track because there's something in it. And then once I did that, I went home and I said, all right, let's do this thing. And went into my football coach the next day because I'd been practicing the whole summer. I think I'd already checked out pads. And my parents are never really one to let me quit anything. Not that I always wanted to, but there was times I was like, man, this sucks. But I went in and I was like, hey, um, I think I can go somewhere with this, and I can't handle breaking a finger or rolling my ankle or anything. And he said, yeah, man, go for it. And that he was a pole vaulter in high school. He had our school record before I did, so he understood and totally pushed me in the direction that I should be. But then after that, man, it was I just kind of hit the ground running. So I would wake up usually throughout that whole year. I had one other training partner that would come to the track with me in the mornings. We'd get up at we'd be up there at 5:30,
Who
just
was
trying
that?
to do speed. I think she might have trained there for a little bit. Jaden Cates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think she did training there.
Yep.
But she would come up and do sprint workouts with me in the morning. And, looking back, I'm not sure that was super productive because we definitely weren't warmed up nervous system wise. But, I think for me, that just gave me a little bit of peace of mind of like, I'm doing everything that I can to be better than everybody else. Nobody else is doing this. And whether that's, as I've gotten into college, you realize that that's not always the secret sauce. And actually, it's sometimes the opposite. But it gave me peace of mind. It gave her peace of mind, and we did that for, the next. Well, she was a senior, so we did that for the year, and then I did next year. And during that time, I was coming to you guys, so I would do those speed workouts in the morning, and then I had a plan period my junior year where I was in the weight room doing stuff with the lifting coaches. So I basically would just do core, and then I would go to my 5th period and I'd lift, and I'd get off, and I would go to you guys and I would run, or I would go pole vault. And I mean, I'm not sure that was good for me, but it sure helped me, you know, get a sense of athletics and get a sense of what my body was capable of and where I needed to stop, and definitely gave me a great strength and conditioning base coming into college. And
Well, I
then
think it's a not to cut you off, but I think it's a testament to, kind of what mentality, but then also the, kind of consistency that it takes to get different results, right? Like, and that's, I think the bigger message there, like, sure, we could we could break down the science, right? Like we could start to say, hey, is this the regimen for a high school athlete that is underdeveloped, that doesn't quote unquote know how to take care of their bodies in a complete fashion just yet? Is this, going to always provide us the highest analytical responses when it comes to the things that we're going to be looking at? Yeah, probably not, right? Like there's definitely ways that you could go about doing it, but the reality of it is you have what you have in front of you. You have the situations that you can plug yourself into, and you took advantage of every one of those is essentially what I'm hearing, right? Because we talk to athletes all the time that when they're wanting this, right, they want to be Division 1 athletes, right? They want to be sponsored athletes. They want to go do the stuff on the big scale. And that's awesome. But you were always day to day, always doing the things that most other athletes weren't doing, right? And you're telling your story. 5 a.m., I'm going to run with Jaden, and we're just going to go do what we know how to do, whatever it is, right? And you're doing that consistently. And then you go to school, you're lifting during school, you're running during school. Then you come to Parisi after school. And then after that, you're going and pole vaulting on top of that afterwards. And then on the weekends, oh, hey, welcome to social life. I'm going to go to Kansas City. I'm going to go to whatever the other club that you said, right? So you kind of remove the excuses of I'm not gonna allow this thing to pass me by. I'm going to fully focus and do it. And you'll have half of the line is going to say, well, was it worth it? Did you have, a social life? Were you able to go do the fun stuff and blah, 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 blah? And you're going to have the other half of the line who has no idea, what it's like to do the things that you're currently doing right now. Right. And that's the beauty in it was you were like, you know what? I'm focused. This is what I want. And I'm going all in. I'm going to do it. Like I'm going to stay consistent. I'm going to stay disciplined, which is what led you down a path to get the things that you were able to get. And sure, again, the science would tell you a bunch of different things. If you didn't have to go to school, right? Like there would probably be a way that your nutrition could change. If you could live the professional athlete life where you have the free time during the day, I'm sure you could have made some better choices in some certain things, but you were also in school. So,
Right.
that's what takes 8 hours of the day out of the day. And that's where it gets incredibly difficult to do some things. So, it's refreshing to hear that because we talk to high school kids literally every day that try to tell you, oh, well, we're too busy because we got this, we got this, we got this. And it's like, well, then don't come asking me to help you get into whatever it is, because the reality of that is you're not willing to sacrifice. You're not willing to sacrifice the things that don't really matter on the journey that you say that you're wanting to go on. So it's more so and it's not a right and wrong thing. It's just, if you say you want to go after this thing, right? Like you did, if I jump 16, I'm all in on track. Like I'm doing it. And that's my entire focus, and that's basically what you did. But keep going. I just wanted to plug that in because it's a cool part of the story that I think people can learn from. And I'm not telling, I don't tell any kids like, oh, hey, just focus on one thing. That's all you need to do. Like that's not it either. But you have to make that decision for yourself at that time and then be able to say, hey, I'm doing it, and then
Yeah.
be able to, the rubber's got to meet the road too. Like you got to have the action behind it to get the results.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, even all through high school, I would honestly say it started in like 8th grade where I was like, you know what? I want to be good at this thing. Cause I was always a kid that I was like, I was never great at any sports ever. I was riding the JV bench in middle school basketball. Like I was never the kid that was like, oh, that guy's athletic. Like he can do it. But the only place I ever found that was on the track. Like the only place that anybody was ever like, oh, he's talented, was when I was pole vaulting. I was like, you know what? Like this is the thing I'm good at. I'm going for it. And then so yeah, like my freshman year even, it was just like I had no clue of what was going on. I just knew that I needed a pole vault, and it was like every year I was trying to push it a little bit higher. And then freshman year I jumped 14 and a half inch, which was I think number like 6 in the country at the time. And that was just like I don't want to call it an ego boost, but it was like all right, there's something behind it. And then after that, it was like, if you keep rolling, you'll get there. And like I said, like you said, that you're in school, but my high school is different from, I feel like, a lot of high schools, in the sense that um, every teacher, every coach was going to help me be the best that I could be. If I went in and I was like, hey, to my lifting coaches, hey, I want to change this a little bit, or can we add this in, or can I do these after, or can I come in after school and do this? It was always absolutely. And they were also always telling me, the best guys, the guys that are up at the top, are the ones that are doing everything that nobody else wants to do. And I think that having that kind of just drilled in your brain throughout 4 years of high school is a very beneficial thing. And you know to that point, my junior year was, like I said, when I kind of started really trying to go in. And like, I mean, I was all in every time, but that's when I started getting into nutrition and into just a lot more of the training stuff. Um, I actually did a nutrition training program with a pole club in Arizona called AZPVA, and they have a guy that he graduated with so many degrees, like I don't even know, in sports nutrition, and I did like a 3 month nutrition course with him, and it just totally, I mean, I don't want to say like changed my life as a dramatic sense, but it did. You don't realize how bad you're eating until till somebody's watching you and they're like, that could be changed, that could be changed. And I think that is a big overlooked piece of high school athletics, and just getting to that next level, is taking care of yourself. Because how many high school athletes are so great and then they just get injured, and then that's why they can't go. They busted up a knee. They you know keep chronic hamstring things. They don't want to deal with it. Um, I fortunately never had any injuries and stuff in high school, and I do attribute that to um, I was constantly on my nutrition. I was constantly all about recovery, all about sleep. And I feel like that is truly the definition of all in, is once you start looking at things beyond the track. I mean, you can have anybody show up to the track or show up to the weight room and go crazy in there, and then the second they get out, they're grabbing a Snickers bar and going home and eating ramen. But it was like, once you're going home and you're like, I got to find something that's gonna be productive after that workout. What's gonna fuel me? What's gonna push me to be better the next time? I want to go to bed at 10 p.m. It's all of these things that are it's just stacking up outside, so that then when you go into the weight room, it's easier to work hard. When you go onto the track, it's easier to see results. And I really think that if you're not on top of those things outside of it, you're never going to reach what you actually could do. Because, I mean, realistically, if we look at my stats in high school, I mean, speed numbers. I came into college, my first flying 10 was a 1.23 flying 10-yard or 10-meter dash. That's all out blasting it. Like our girls, which granted, we had national champion that year, but she was clocking 111s, 110s, and I'm getting freaking left in the dust. But that's a testament to say that, like, pole vault speed is everything. I was slow as could be, but because I worked so hard in so many other areas, I was able to have that cushion, and I was able to jump significantly higher than I should have been able to jump running that slow. So it just shows that, like, if you can put yourself all in, you'll get the results regardless. I shouldn't have jumped high, but because I did everything I absolutely could, I was able to. And I think that just kind of shows that, like, when you want something, if you truly go for it, it's going to work out. But it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be linear. So
100%. The discipline it takes to compete at the level that you're competing at is
Unmatched.
it's a different level. And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, talking to high school kids mainly, obviously for us here, it's you've gone through it, right? So you understand kind of the light at the end of the tunnel in some aspects, but it's just, you have to sacrifice. Like, and people don't like sacrifice. If sacrificing was easy, then everybody would just do it, no problem. But that's kind of the definition of the word, right? It hurts, right? Like, it's not fun. Like, you've had to refuse going and doing plenty of different things that seem like more fun. You've had to put your career, right, running and track and just training in front of, some fun things. Like you've had to, and it doesn't mean that you don't still get to enjoy your life and still go and do things, but it's just a priority list that you do not waver on. And that's why a lot of the results, eventually come, right? And like you said, it's not linear. That was the other part, right? For kids, it's if you think it's just going to be, ABC, like good luck. Like it doesn't work out that way. So there's just a lot of, ups and downs and twists and turns and just different things happen. The nutrition piece is a very, very, very big one. Rest and sleeping is a very, very, very big one. Those are the things that, young athletes, they look over those things because they just don't, they don't understand them fully, which is a part of what we try to do as far as education is concerned and things like that. And so it's just, and some of it's out of our control, right? Like, your family situations and going home and that type of stuff. Like there's only so much as coaches that we can do. But the reality of it is it's our goal to help. And so we got to be able to keep pushing in the right direction and, just do what we can do as we are able to do it. But, one thing I remember about you coming in testing wise was this dude used to do like 40 chin-ups in our tests. Like his lean body mass, like being able to do like testing wise. I pulled up some of your old testing scores. Do you remember these by any chance?
I remember some. I feel like I remember a pull-up day where I did like 36, but that's about it. That's all I got.
Well, you beat that one. One time you beat that one. You did 40. So,
Okay.
yeah, for a while there, from 2018 to 2019, he was on the lower end of he was less than 20.
Is 40 a record here?
What a bum.
Yeah.
But then from January of 2020 to September of 2020, he started in the 30s. He went 30, 36, and then 40. So pretty wild because that's some solid metrics there. But
that's literally when I started doing all that nutrition coaching stuff. Was that like I started in October of that year.
Yeah.
I'm very curious on the nutrition stuff. You talk about, going to high school at Andale where lunch has a medium rare steak on your plate for
I would never say that. I love my Andale lunch ladies, but I abstained for the last 2 years of high school.
I gotcha. My question there is, what was the biggest change for your nutrition when you decided to go all in?
Oh gosh, I would say probably just like, and it gets I would say just like consciously tracking what I was eating. And I don't think that that's by any means long-term sustainable. I don't think that you should be tracking your calories and your macros every single day unless you're a bodybuilder. But for me, doing it for a period of, 4 months helped me understand what I was eating, and, where all these things were coming from. And like I said, it's different for every athlete, right? A cross-country runner isn't going to have the same athlete, and whatever their
Macros.
They're aerobic. Yeah, their aerobic athletes aren't going to have the same diet as an anaerobic athlete. So, understanding that and being able to just be like, okay, I just ate normal for a week and kind of looked at what that was, and it's like I'm eating 200 grams of fat in a day. That's insane. I don't need to be. I'm not training for a marathon. I don't need that much fat. And kind of understanding that like what society and what everybody around you tells you is necessarily healthy is sometimes not the best for sports performance, right? Like crushing these Cliff Bars is like, yeah, they want you to think it's healthy. It's got as much sugar in it as half a can of Coke, and you're smashing 3 of those before practice. Like, it's not. It's usually it's not because people don't want to. It's because they don't know. But once I kind of had that knowledge, it was like it was a game changer. Just understanding how macros affect your body and how eating certain things can fuel performance or hinder performance, and just I could get into the weeds about it, but I think just understanding like in short terms, macro goals would be the biggest change. Understanding that my diet needed to be 20% fat, 30% protein, 50% carbs. And I would try to play that like a game every single day. It was, how close can I get to these numbers? Can I hit them exactly on the dot? I mean, it would be like I would be in my kitchen at night, like dumping a little bit of protein powder in a bowl to try to hit this on the head. And it wasn't because I was crazy. It was because I was trying to be as close to it as I could, which probably was crazy. But um, I do think it definitely made a difference. And I think just, once you're in that zone, your body just starts to, I mean, I just leaned out a lot, which I wasn't big by any means, but I think I got down to like, I probably came into before that nutrition stuff at like 165. And then by that January, I was like 157, 158. So, and lean and feeling good, not like sickly skinny, but definitely in a much better athletic place. So I think just having a knowledge of macros and kind of where each athlete should be is huge. And also drinking a lot of water. I know people harp on that all the time, but I've had the same water bottle we're going on year 6. And I don't know if it's necessarily healthy anymore, but I take this thing with me everywhere. So just
As
making
long as
sure
you
you're
clean
drinking
it,
enough
I think
water.
it's okay, right?
Right. Well, and I think so too, but I saw something on the internet about like insulated water bottles can have like lead in the walls, and I don't know if that's true at all, but like this thing rattles, like it sounds like there's ice in it, but there's no ice. So,
Yeah, it's
there's
lead.
something,
Yeah,
yeah, there's
nothing
something
wrong there.
floating around in there, and I'm not sure what.
What doesn't kill you makes you
In
stronger.
between the walls, maybe, right? In between the
Right.
walls,
Lead
not
used to be good
not
for
in
you
the
back in the
tank,
day.
not in the
Back
thing.
in the day.
Right,
So,
I'd be
right.
eating pencils. It's so
so now that we kind of covered off on the nutrition side of it, what's your cheat meal? Like if
Ooh.
you're just like, I have a craving, I gotta go, I gotta do it. Like it's just there. What are you doing?
It's hard,
Not a
because I
kale
try
salad.
I try not to cheat, just because like I've been in the cycle of like really strict and then cheat meal, and then that kind of like it kind of sets you up to think foods are like good and bad. And this sounds bad, but if you never have cheat meals, you don't crave them. So like I would say my cheat meal is we'll make like I'm a sourdough guy, so I'll make like a sourdough pizza.
Okay. Not
That's probably
Casey's
my cheat meal.
pizza, but sourdough pizza.
No, I would love to. And in the summer, absolutely. But like right now and maybe early fall, but we just started our indoor season, so like my cheat meal has shifted from like, I would go get ice cream to now it's like I have some Carb Smart Briars in my freezer that I'll put on top of an apple, and that'll be my delicious cheat meal. And
You
once you've
close your
got like
eyes while you're eating it and just say,
yeah.
"This is just like ice cream."
Right. And once you get that deep into it, like once you don't let yourself slip up, those things start to taste fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say probably a sourdough pizza. And if I'm like not training in season, I would say it's probably, gosh, I'll eat literally anything. Probably like Olive Garden.
Ooh,
Oh, Olive Garden is good.
I would have 6 of their bowls of salad right now.
Oh my gosh, I love
At
Olive
the
Garden.
Summer Ball Showdown, you can catch me walking around with one of their big corporate bowls that I just snack on all day.
Yeah,
So
we've
you're
had them
saying
for catering for like meats and stuff, and they'll leave them for us after the competitions, and we tear them up.
so you're saying the food pyramid that we grew up on is not ideal.
No, no,
Imagine
not at
that.
all.
Wait, so I'm not
Weird.
supposed to be eating 50% grains and like 10% meat?
What?
No, no.
Oh, well, shoot.
Oh, dang.
What are the odds? What are the odds?
Well, kind of shifting away from that, your recruiting journey. You have several recruiting profiles that I've found online. We have a friend that does NCSA and stuff like that. But talk about your recruiting journey and why you chose to put yourself on those and what it helped you with.
Yeah. I didn't even realize some of those recruiting profiles are still active. I think a lot of this, or a lot of the recruiting stuff, can be a bit of a toss up because I can only speak to the track side, right? So for me, numbers speak. It's not the same as a volleyball or a basketball where, you watch footage and it's like, hey, he's good at this in this game and this, he moves well. It's like, this is my numbers. Do you want me? Um, so it's a little bit more straightforward in that regard. But I got on those recruiting services probably after my sophomore year, before my junior year, and to be honest, I got pretty much nothing from them. Um, it was a lot of, and that's not, let's say nothing. I wanted to go to a Division I school. I didn't care if it was mid-major. I didn't care if it was Power 5, Power 4 now. Um, but I wanted to go to a Division I school, and most of what I was getting on there was in AIAs, JUCOs, and there's nothing wrong with those, right? Those are great stepping stones for people that want to go that route, and especially in a team-based sport where you can develop and then you can go to a bigger school. But for me, I wanted to try to just jump right in. So I had done some of those things and consulted with some of the I guess like coordinators, and me and my parents kind of decided that ultimately it just wasn't worth the money that it was going to cost to put myself out there. So then I kind of said, all right, I don't think we're going to do this. What's the next best thing? So I just started blasting emails. Like if ChatGPT existed back then, I would have been a warrior. Because like I basically went, all right, Google, give me a list of the 100 Division I schools. And I went down through and I went to all of their rosters and I went to, see what their vaulters were jumping. Then I found their vault coach's email. And if they didn't have a vault coach, I went to their head coach and I had an email template that I had made. And it had my PR, my grad year, my GPA, my ACT, all those things that you would want in an email. And it did not say, I'd love to learn more about your program, because that is a horrible thing to put in an email. Because you should be able to learn anything you need to about their program for the most part about, on their website. But also just like being conscious of that. And I just blasted that out to every coach under the sun. And, half of them missed, but half of them came back with a, hey, I'd love to get on a phone call with you, or hey, you haven't quite jumped where we need you to be, let me know when you've jumped this. And that's also being conscious. Like I said, I was looking at the roster and seeing what the current pole vaulters had jumped at the time. When I was sending these out when I had jumped, I think 15 feet. So not a bad bar. It's a great bar for a high school sophomore, but in terms of a big Division I school, a 15-foot bar is not going to get you onto Arkansas. So I was self-aware of that, and I'm not going to go send my 15-foot jump to Brian Compton at Arkansas and say, bring me in, man, because it's not going to happen. So just being aware and kind of knowing where to shoot, but reaching for the stars a little bit. And like I said, I got a lot of emails back, and I made a lot of connections with coaches, and that's kind of what my strategy was just just email a ton of people, because at least in track, they are never going to reach out to you unless you are even there was a kid a few years ago that was the number one kid in the country, and no one was reaching out to him, not because he hadn't jumped high enough, but just because track coaches, they don't really have a ton of time on their hands to just be looking through Instagram and shooting out emails to people. Like you have to reach out to coaches, especially if you're not cream of the crop. And I was up there in the national rankings, but I wasn't top 10. I think I was number 13. So it's like, if you're not within that top 5, you're gonna have to go after it yourself. So I had sent out emails, and then I had found Louisville, and weirdly enough, you actually get I'm sure you guys know, like they'll sometimes send postcards to the schools, some colleges will. And 90% of the time it's like Southwestern Christian Jesuit Northern University, and I don't know where it's at. But I got 2 letters that day from Illinois State in it's not Bloomington. I don't know where it is. Anyways, Normal, Illinois. And then I got one from Louisville. And that was rare because I was like, I mean, I just told you, you don't get email, or you don't get letters, you don't get emails. Um, and I was like, I'd never heard of them, and I was like, all right, I'll go look at this. And then I was like, oh crap, like this is a big school, so I was pumped about it. And so I kind of investigated a little bit further, and then they were one of the ones that I don't think I had hit on my email list, and so I sent them an email just to follow up, and I was like, hey, got the note in the school email, or in the school mail system. I'm excited to talk to you, and try to get to know what you guys are all about. And from there, I kind of realized that it was kind of a weird situation, because it was a weird pyramid of like connections. So my high school coach, Dylan Schmidt, or my high school lifting coach is Dylan Schmidt, football coach as well. His dad was the pole vault coach at Andale. So Mark Schmidt was the pole vault coach. Dylan Schmidt was the weight room coach. Um, and then the coach at Louisville, who's my coach now, she trained with Dylan at Wichita State. So they were teammates at Wichita State. And my coach had also coached with my pole vault coach, Mark Schmidt, at some pole vault camps when she was younger. And she is from El Dorado.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was like,
That's where
it
I'm
was
going later
weird.
today.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, this is, you don't meet a ton of people from Kansas, especially that far out. And then from that point, it was like, I was talking to, I would talk to my teachers and stuff about, where I was in my recruiting journey. And, then it seemed like, I mean, I brought her name up to some of my teachers, and they knew who she was, and were like talking about her, and just had great things to say. Like my computer apps teacher was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I know her, I love her. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why do all these people know her? And so it was just a weird little thing where I was like, this feels off, but it feels right. And I had narrowed it down to 3 schools: Illinois State, um, Louisville, and then KU. And I love KU. I mean, I think it's a great school, but I wanted to get a little bit further away. And man, something about just the like everything lining up, and everybody's saying, this coach is great. She's got great character. She's awesome. I decided to go with Louisville, and I think, it was definitely an interesting recruiting journey, especially because I didn't have official visits, but we can get into that later because of COVID. Um, But yeah, I mean, I think just overall the strategy is, be a real person, try to make connections, try to connect with coaches as much as you can, and just, um, you know, throw out a net and see what you can pull up, because most of the time you're going to be able to find somewhere to go if you want to go. And if you
Well, you
have
were
that,
also, I mean, you were being realistic with yourself in the process too, right? Like, and I don't want to, just browse over that portion of it, because obviously in high school you were putting up the numbers to be on a Division I radar, right? So you had the backing behind what you were doing, but like you said, like the bar still rises, right? And you knew that looking into it, and then being able to kind of take initiative, right? And that's another part. We talk recruiting all the time, and people just think, and this I think is just kind of I don't know, it's just a thing that we're told when we're younger. So I guess we just think that it's going to happen, and the reality of it is that's not the way the recruiting world works
it
anymore, right?
never
Like it's not
happens that way.
yeah, it's not oh, hey, like you're really good, they're going to find you mentality. And although there is a very, very, very small, select amount of athletes across the country, but people just aren't realistic with how small that number is. And they're not being, honest with themselves on where they are also projected in that number. So there's this balancing act between those two things that you just have to understand. Like, college jobs are insanely busy, number one. And then number two, they've already got pipelines upon pipelines upon pipelines of people that are in their programs, people that are all around the stuff that they're doing. Like, why do you think they're going to find you somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, basically,
Yeah,
and pull you out of the
it's
ocean? Like, it's just,
it's
it's
unrealistic,
unrealistic.
and
Yeah.
people think that like this coach is going to sift through all these million mile split profiles to find you. It's like even me I had jumped 16.6 out of high school, which was a pretty good mark, but even like they're going to have to scroll down 13 spots on the rankings to find me. It's like you hear top 13 in the nation, that sounds pretty good, but it's like if you're a coach and you've sent 13, 12 emails already, you don't care about number 13. He's a
Right.
drop in the bucket. That's
Right.
why, like, you have to show that you want to go there. If you don't put yourself out there, you will not, you won't find anything most of the time.
Yeah, you have to do the work. Like, and
Yeah.
that's what it boils down to. So if anybody does ever listen to these, like, just understand, like, you're going to have to do it. Like, you have to do it. I love the initiative that I hear when you in your journey, right? Like, you're like, I'm gonna find 100 schools, I'm gonna send out the emails, I'm gonna send the follow-ups, I'm gonna reach out to them, I am going to do the legwork. And it's part of the discipline. Like, it's part of deciding that's what you want and deciding that you're going to do it, and then going and executing the game plan to be able to try and find the results for yourself. Now, you got to have the backup, right? Like, you got to have the work. Like, it has to be there with you as well, because you can't live in fantasy land of, well, I'm a JV starter and I want to go to Oklahoma. It's like, listen, like, I'm not telling you to not shoot for the stars. Like, that's not what it is. But you have to pair those two things. Like, they've got to be close enough to where it makes sense on both sides of the fence. And if you can't make those things make sense, then you're just not being honest with yourself. And
Yep.
I'm sorry, but sports are not for everyone. Collegiate sports aren't for everybody. Division I sports are definitely not for everybody. And professional sports, it's even smaller, right? You gotta be honest with yourself on where you're at. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with going to a JUCO. I went to a JUCO, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong to going to an NAIA, right? Like, it doesn't matter, right? But you have to be honest with yourself on where you're at in that process, and then be able to move forward by doing the things to get you going.
Yeah.
So it's cool to hear you do it. It's cool to hear your story, and that obviously you landed in a pretty big bucket, because Louisville is a massive school, and there's a lot of cool things, and I know you've enjoyed your time out there and different things that are happening. But
yeah, so when you're looking at all these schools, obviously your main goal was to go D1. So I think that's a little bit different from most kids, because my question was going to be, you're obviously a far away from home, and then I think there's a lot of kids out there who are scared of leaving home. So I think I want you kind of speak to that, of where there's kids who don't take the chance because they don't want to get out of there, but then there's kids who want to get out of there, and then they realize maybe it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. But just kind of speak on that experience and how you've enjoyed being where you are.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I was looking at it, I had not really gotten any hits close to home, aside from KU, and that was because I had reached out to them. They didn't really reach out to me, so it was there, and I had tried to get onto the Pitt State radar, and they weren't really having it. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to go somewhere further away, because I wanted to get what I wanted. So I mean, I started realizing that, like, no matter what, I'm gonna be a plane right away. Like, I started getting into these, like, oh, it's like an 8-hour drive. I'm like, oh, I could do that on the weekend if I need to, or oh, it's like, okay, this one's 10, like, it's getting a little dicey. Oh, this one's 15, like, we're starting to get risky, and I'm just thinking, oh, it's really far. And then I started realizing, like, at some point, it doesn't matter the difference between 8 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours. I'm getting on a plane. I'm going to the airport with my bag. Like, who cares? And I think getting away, not getting away, but getting out and seeing something a little bit different, it gives you perspective. And I think I've gained a lot of perspective from leaving Andale and getting out and seeing something that I hadn't done. Was I scared? Absolutely. I was terrified. I'm moving to this, which now I don't think Louisville's super big. But like I'm going from a town with 900 people where I can see end to end the entire city,
Sure.
to like, I mean, Louisville's it's night and day difference. I'm in traffic every day. I'm in, there's a million people here. So it's like to transition to that, it's scary. But I think like that was a change that I was excited for, where I was like, my favorite motto is to do something you've never done before. You have to do something you've never done before. And I was like, all right, I've been here, I've been in Kansas, I've been, around these same circles of people, and this is what I've done, but I don't want to do this. I want to do more. And I was like, you know what? If I want to get a different result, I got to take a different process. So I was like, I'm going to take a risk and go out here. And, if it doesn't work out, transfer, go find somewhere that you want to go. Go find somewhere close to home. But, I think I got out here and I can only speak to my situation, but I got out here and I immediately fell right into the mix. I had amazing teammates, and an amazing coach that just like worked me right in. I never, I mean, it sounds crazy, but I've never dealt with the college homesickness. Right when I got here, I started having a great time. And I think, that's obviously unique to my situation, but I think for people that are like, I don't know if I want to go further away. I don't know if I want to get that far away from my family. It's like, it's 4 years, maybe 5 if you're me. Go
Maybe
enjoy
10,
something
10.
different. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
10 for
Yeah.
you. Come on now.
Yeah.
Go out and try something new. Go out and pick up your life and move somewhere else. It's an opportunity for growth, and it makes you grow up faster. It makes you mature. It makes you learn responsibilities, and especially, in my big thing was like, if I want to go all in on this Division I lifestyle, I don't want to be 3 hours from home where my mom's like, hey, are you coming home for dinner on Sunday night? Or, oh, you want to come home for the weekend? No, I want to be at school with my teammates, doing the Saturday workout, spending time together as a team, waking up on Sunday, getting ready for the week. I don't want to be bouncing back and forth and school is like my week job and then I go home on the weekend. No, I want to be immersed in what I'm doing. And I think that's been a big piece for me is like, I couldn't get away from it if I tried. Like I am swimming in whatever I'm doing. And like my parents come to visit and I love it. But at the end of the day, like this is my job. This is what I'm here to do. I can't afford distractions. And I think that if I was closer to home, it would be a lot harder to say no to those things. And especially like, in a college scenario, there's a lot of distractions available. And it's good to have fun sometimes, but also you have to lock it down. And I think if you're too close to home, those high school friends that you were, great with in high school, it's like, hey, we have a wedding this weekend. Hey, we have a birthday party. Come on home. It's 3 hours. Then I'm making bad decisions. And it's like, versus here, all of my friends are people that I train with. They have the same goals as I do. We're holding each other accountable. So it's not really an option to fall behind. And I think that's a big piece of getting out of it as well is you get to choose your circle again. And I think that's really important.
I love that, man. Yeah, that culture that you're immersed in is why, like you said, it's easy for you to stay, not easy, that's not the right word, but it's simpler for you to stay disciplined because that's what you're surrounding yourself with. Those people that are around you, they want to hold you accountable. You're holding yourself to a high standard, and then, it's a teamwork mentality. And that's why everything is, moving the direction. I want to tap in just a little bit. I know we're probably running a little long on time, but I don't really care. Your story's awesome, and I want to tap into kind of your experience now that you're in college, right? Because this is these are always the hot topic items for kids that are looking in, the Division I athlete lifestyle, right? And I think we've covered off on the sports side plenty, right? Like that's the number one priority, right? Like everybody sees especially football players, right? Everybody sees the cars, the clothes, the nice stuff, and like living this, quote unquote lifestyle. And they're basically, miniature celebrities already at some of these big schools. And the money that they're getting paid, right, from NIL and that type of stuff is just a little bit of a different bar. It's a different thing. Basketball as well, too, right? Like there's some big time dollars getting dropped on some of these guys. So, and girls. But, what is that transition kind of been like for you? Because I, from afar, and granted, I like to check in with you from time to time. I usually just leave my simple trademark "that's neat" on everything for you, just because that was like our thing when you were training with me. But
Right.
so I'm watching from afar, but like I see you promoting different things. I see you kind of getting into that realm a little bit from here and there. And I'd like to at least shed some light on that side of the business, right? Like, because that's what it is, right? And I'm sure that you've learned a lot in that process. So tell us a little bit about, some of the things you've done since starting there, but then also what you're currently doing and, what's kind of going on that side of the venture.
Yeah. So when I got into college, NIL was like, I mean, my first year in was like the first year that NIL was a thing. And I was like, it's once again the awareness thing, right? I don't have 100,000 followers on Instagram, like the football players that practice down the street do. So I'm not going to be getting payouts and cars and all of these things. While that sounds amazing, I unfortunately am not getting that kind of traction. But I think just like using it to your advantage, in the sense that like there's a lot of things that you don't realize you have influence over as a Division I athlete, and with that school logo behind you. Um, I think using the fact that you're here and that you're on a roster, just to promote products and to promote things that you use. I think that the biggest thing for me is just like I try to find things that I would want to use or want to eat or, use in my training, and just reach out to brands and be like, hey, um, I am a Division I pole vaulter at a Power 4 school. I like making content. This is what I think I could do for you. And 70% of the time I don't hear anything back. But 30% of the time I do. And then I just start kind of rolling and trying to make content for them. And I would say like earlier in my college career, it was a little bit easier just because the deeper you get, the harder your school gets, and the less time you have. And now, it's like I have no time, so I try to keep my NIL deals a little bit more limited. But um, yeah, I mean, I've done stuff with PB Fit, the peanut butter powder. I've done stuff with Liquid IV. I've done stuff with um, well, I'm currently doing stuff with Accelerator, the energy drink. Um, gosh, I can't even remember. I've done oh gosh.
What was the kale
I know.
salad place?
Oh,
What was that?
yeah, I
Come on.
do. I'm still on with vinaigrette right now.
Vinaigrette. That's what it was called. Yeah.
That's awesome. It cuts my grocery bill down a lot, and I love their food, so it makes it really easy. And it's just like finding ways that it can fit into my lifestyle. But I think the biggest misconception is that like I don't know, from an inside perspective, it's like I go home, and I hear, or not even home, I just out in general population, and it's like people talking about how NIL is like ruining college sports, and the transfer portal's ruining college sports, and all of these things. And it's like, where's my NIL that's ruining college sports? I haven't seen it. I get a few cases of energy drink, but like it's not life changing. And obviously for some people it can be, but I think um just having realistic expectations of what you're gonna get. Um you can work your absolute hardest on pushing out content, and if people don't care, people don't care. It's just having fun with it. That's what I eventually learned is like I try to put out, and I try to put out content about pole vaulting, about training, using the knowledge that I have, and then trying to work brands into that. Not necessarily having brands and then trying to work pole vault into that, if that makes sense. It's the other way around. Because people don't people see enough ads every single day. They don't want to see another ad. So it's like if I can work something into my training or my recovery or all of those things, that's the biggest thing. And just knowing that like you're probably not going to get a Mercedes out of the deal. You're going to be lucky if you get $100. Like that's a big one. So just having realistic expectations, and knowing that like if you don't have 150,000 followers, you're not getting the big bucks. But there's opportunities for everybody. Like I was doing NIL deals when I had, 600 followers. They don't care. They just care that you're an athlete.
Where did you go about like finding them?
Instagram.
Okay.
Literally, I'd be scrolling through Instagram, but oh, that looks cool. I'm gonna send him a DM.
So again,
and I
you
would just
took initiative to essentially.
right. I don't think I've ever been approached about doing an NIL deal. Maybe once. I did it.
I might have to approach you.
Yeah, I did it once.
Let me get you a Parisi NIL deal.
I'll promote. I will.
Yeah,
I'd
see?
love Parisi. But people never reach out. That's the thing. Like everybody thinks that NIL is this big, huge thing, and for some people it is. But like for the most part, if you don't seek it out, people aren't coming for you. Like it's the same thing with recruiting. You're not like, I don't know, like Lululemon is not knocking down my door to try to get me to promote their products. I tried. They don't want me. Like
you just
it just
the
comes
market,
down,
I mean, it just
right. It's saturated, but it's like, it's the same thing. They're not going to find you. There's 1 million people on Instagram with 2,000 followers. You gotta go search it out. And most of the time, people are going to be happy to send it to you because it gives you, it's once again like a more niche audience, but like you have to seek it out.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, the way it's going for you with NIL was probably the way it was meant to be.
Right.
I guess like it wasn't, the second NIL became, legal or signed into law or whatever, the first thing was Eastern Michigan of all places offering Caleb Williams $1 million to transfer there. And obviously college football between the conferences and the networks is just a money-making machine that really just props up the most powerful anyway. So what NIL was in general supposed to be, because it was becoming popular when I was working at Wichita State, essentially was okay, like you're saying, if you had a talent per se, like playing the piano, right? You could go to some local, shop or whatever and ask, can I play the piano, and accept tips for that? Like you can do stuff like that, or like you're doing, you're reaching out to brands and, plugging their content into your own content, and you get a little, you get a perk, you might get $100, like whatever it might be. It gives you guys who are on a really busy schedule year round an opportunity to get something, and be compensated for a talent, whether that's content creating, whether that's something else, you could be compensated for it, as opposed to like, if you were a really good artist and you want to sell your paintings back in 10 years ago, the NCAA would be, mad at you if you sold your painting for $5 or something like that.
Right.
So it gives you guys freedom to basically, make money off your name, image, and likeness. It's not this, like football and basketball and baseball where it's pay for play. Essentially, that's not what it is for, the rest of the athletes in college.
Which, to a degree, I mean, NIL has changed it for sure, but also, stipends have been around forever.
Yeah.
And people have been getting paid to play for forever. I mean, like baseball players, football players, basketball, they're all getting, if you're that good, it's going to be a competition of which school can give you a full, plus how much more stipend can they give you. And that just comes down to donors. It's just under a different name now.
Yeah.
Like the donors are the NIL instead of before it was just team stipend. So it's like, it's always been happening. It's just bigger. But yeah, unfortunately, I have not seen any of the NIL big $1 million bonuses. So if anybody has any of those, send them my way. But
Yeah. Well,
We'll see what we can do.
Well, I
but probably
don't.
not.
So, maybe one day. Maybe one day.
someday.
Yeah, no, it's a, just the NIL perspective, I think, it's a wild, I always call it the Wild West, because that's basically what it's turned into. Big universities have found the loophole to make it more public appealing. And so as that has happened, once again, with everything, it has begun to corrupt, young minds into thinking that, oh yeah, like I can just go and do this and do this and do this. And
I'm going to get a purple Corvette.
yeah, the unrealistic expectations have just continued to morph and change, which ultimately has just caused more headache. K-State just recently, obviously, coach there, Kleiman leaves because the landscape of, he retires early, I should say. And it boils down to that. That is exactly why he left. That's what the athletic director came out and said in his presser, was just like, yeah, no, like he's not coaching for this reason. Like this is not why he came here to coach. And he's losing guys on a, annual basis, and he's not, and
That's
you
why
can,
Saban left too.
yeah,
Saban.
and you can argue both sides to that, obviously. Adapt or die, like that's just the realities of it. But he's choosing to not, like it's taking the love out of coaching for some guys, which is some of the evils of it in my brain. But it's also kind of a, hey, you're gonna have to change because the landscape is changing as well too, right? And again, I don't know if you
Right.
want to argue good and bad. I'm sure it's just difference of opinions, but it's definitely changing, especially for those
Yeah.
style of programs, because it has become a pay to play, right? Like you're just gonna have to have the money to be able to go and buy certain talented individuals. And on the other hand, because I'm an advocate for players as well too, obviously that's who I work with. How the hell do you expect me to go tell some dude to not go where they're going to give you $100,000? Like,
Right.
it's impossible. Like, you're not going to,
It's-
oh no, go to this place for the culture of this. Like, okay.
No.
Yeah, good
Like,
luck having that
yeah,
combo.
if you had a job offer in front of you and I hear people talk about there's no more loyalty anymore in college sports. And I'm like, if you were at a company and then another company came to you and said, we'll give you what they're giving plus $100,000 extra every year. I don't care if your
They'd
mom
be
works for that
gone.
company, you are going to run over to company
Yep.
B. It's the
Yep.
same thing. It's like if you are out of college and you love the team and you love everything, but somebody comes to you and says, I'll give you $100,000 a year to do the same thing you're doing now, 3 hours away with a good facility.
And
Why
we're going to
wouldn't
make you feel like you can walk on water. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you're going to get everything promised, handed to you, given. I mean,
Right.
it's
it's at the end of the day, they're running a business and money talks. And anybody who says that they wouldn't listen to that is just lying. It's like,
100%.
I mean, and at the end of the day, everybody says it is that Division I athletics is like a job. And that is 100% the truth. I mean, we are practicing. I have like 6-hour days sometimes where it's like I'm waking up, I got to go to the track. It's 6-7 hours. I mean, I'll get to the track at 11 and I won't get home till 6 p.m. Like it's a full-time job. And it's like, if you don't think that we should be allowed to get compensated for that, we should just be able to get our school paid for. It's like, no, I'm working my butt off to get this done and to get a good education and to be a good athlete. It's like, we can't even get jobs. Like there is no, I can't get a job. So how am I supposed to pay for my living expenses? How am I supposed to do all these things? Throw us a bone here. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't expect broke college kids to not take advantage of the money opportunities being put in front of them all because of loyalty. Like it is what it is.
I just had a random thought. Have you thought about going to like a Jeep dealership or a Chevy, maybe Ford dealership, and just asking them about a lifted truck? Raise the bar. Maybe they'll lease it to you.
I've wanted to. I'm wondering how the football players are all getting their cars, because there's some kind of rule about vehicles where it's like they can't give you vehicles, but I think you can lease them. So maybe I need to go investigate the the local Ford dealership or Jeep or something and get a new car
Maybe-
because my Chevy Malibu is sitting very low to the ground.
Yeah. You need to go. You need to go with that
Hey,
at least
car.
8-inch
Yeah.
lift. You know, you got to jump over it.
Yeah,
Content.
exactly.
Do you need an extra
Content-
tire? We got a guy in the office that's going to be buying one here soon. Maybe we can get
I
a
got
deal.
the rim. The rim's in the
He's got a
middle.
Malibu too.
Yeah.
I've replaced my tires so many times because I'm a chronic curb hitter. So
Oh
Hey.
my goodness!
Hey, right here.
Curb
Right here.
hitters
Yep.
unite.
yeah,
Maybe
It's
it's
just the car. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe it's just the Malibu.
Makes me feel
Let's
good.
put it
There's
on
another
that.
one out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Chevy, go ahead and holler at us.
Have
you
you bent your rim before?
No, not that bad.
No, I have.
Oh, okay.
know?
Yeah.
You know.
Fortunately, I haven't done anything too drastic. I caught a sewer grate once and ripped the wheel wall out. So
Oh,
that
wow.
but that was because I was avoiding another truck, so that wasn't my fault. But yeah, my
Probably
Malibu
me.
she's gotten me everywhere.
Nice.
It's a good car. It's a good
Yeah.
car.
It's a great
Quality.
car.
Gotta replace the tires every once in a while.
Now I
but
got to
that thing-
ask what year it is.
It's 2017.
That's 2012. So
Oh,
you
okay.
probably
He's got the newer body
You know.
style.
Yeah.
Right,
That's
right,
awesome.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, I know we kind of ran a little long on time, but I
Oh, no, you're
appreciate you,
fine.
taking the time to
Well,
chat with us.
I have another
One more?
question.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And maybe, this is kind of a fun question, I guess, but maybe you get asked this a lot being a pole vaulter. We've all seen the videos. Is there any part of you that worries, when you're up there, that pole is going to go somewhere it shouldn't?
That I've never been stabbed before. But I've seen like I said, I've seen a ton of people be stabbed. But I don't know. I like to think that I have pretty good body awareness. So most of the time, like when I push off, I can see where the pole's at, and like if it's coming back underneath me, I just kick it. I just kick it out of the way.
Spidey senses.
Yeah, like most of the time, if you're doing it right, you shouldn't be getting stabbed. Like you're supposed to swipe to the side, but also like, it's part of the game. That's
when
why we
you're
have
up there.
caps on the end of the poles. So, if you get stabbed, walk it off.
I saw your bailout video that you just posted. What happened there?
I wish I could call that I wouldn't even call that a bailout. I would call that damage control. Cause that was, so there's a thing called a box collar. I don't know how familiar you are with pole vault pits. But there's a box in the ground, and then around it there's this like yellow mat, and it's called a collar. And the box is already like pretty small. It's not super small, but it's like probably this wide at the back. And it's like a trapezoid going in. It's in the ground. Like it's not hard to hit, but this box collar, what it does is it basically, like, if you were to fall down straight into it, it kind of prevents you from landing in just metal or on concrete. But it basically wraps around the outsides and covers up like where you would be able to hit. And what happens is the more you land on the mat, the more it can shift that thing in and make your target smaller for where you're planting. And it basically just, like, it had snuck in a ton, and it's a big thing in the pole vault community of people hate box colors. But basically it makes your target smaller. And I was going to plant first attempt of my 5th year, and it hit the side of that collar because it had started cheating in, and I didn't notice because I'm 100 feet back. And I planted on top of it, and my pole bounced up and hit like the back slope of the pit. And then at that point, it was too late for me to stop. So I just, it happened so fast. And then all of a sudden, I'm like flying backwards, about to Spartan kick the official.
Well, the pole
was-
the pole was like bent, and he's like holding on. He's like, nope. He's like, you just see him slingshot backwards, and then he kind of rolls out of it. It was pretty good recovery too.
This is what a box collar looks like. I think you'll be able to see it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
Okay.
those yellow things, they'll start to cheat in more to where it's less room to plant. And then I hit one of those and it popped up and I almost died. So, but honestly, I rolled out, and then next attempt, I came down and made the bar. That's never happened to me before though. I've hit the collar before and like bounced up, but not like that. That was bad.
What's your current PR like? Where are you at right now?
So my current PR is 541. So that is 17.9 and some change.
Okay.
17.9 and some change, and I've jumped in practice. I've jumped 550, 553, so like 18.2 and some change. I'm just waiting to kind of hit that in a competition. I had that was last year. And then I had some injury stuff and just didn't really get an opportunity to put it together in a meet. So hopefully this year, well, has to be this year, that I'll be able to kind of piece some stuff together.
Nice. What's the Olympic dream? Do you have the Olympic dream? Like where do you have to be to make the Olympic team?
Yeah, so Olympic team, usually if you jump like a 580 bar, you're making the team most years. 80, it's like 80 and change. But I mean, so this year is my last year of college, and then next year I have another year of undergrad. So I'm planning on training post-collegiate for a year minimum. And then if next year goes well, I would train and try to go to the 28 trials. And then regardless after that, I need to start med school. So I would start med school that year.
Okay.
But yeah, so 580 would be real.
What'd you say you're at
want to
right
go to
now?
the trials. Like 540, 550.
Okay.
So around
It's kind
there.
of a different
It's-
language for us. So I,
Yeah,
was just making
I don't
sure
know.
understood
You have to go height and inches for us to
Yeah.
It's
understand
like
what that means.
it'd be like I've jumped like
What is this communist? China?
overall I've jumped like 18 feet, 17, 9, 18 feet. And you need to jump like 19 feet. So about a foot higher. Which
What's
is
the
a
world
lot.
record? Do you know?
I don't know it in feet and inches. It's 630, I think, right now. 630.
Oh,
So
wow.
20, it's 20 and change.
Jeez.
That's
it's
that
crazy.
guy from, was he
Sweden.
Sweden.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So what do you think about when you're floating through the air? Like you got
It's 20 feet,
like
8 inches.
what's kind of going through the mental when you like pole goes into the collar area and then you're bending and then shooting your body straight up to the sky essentially? What's like the what are some of the mental thoughts that are happening at that point in time other than hopefully I don't smack onto the ground?
Yeah, it's more like I would say most of my thoughts are happening when I'm running, like when I'm approaching. And then after I'm off the ground, I'm like, oh God, like what did I do wrong?
Blackout.
I would say like most of it is damage control. To the point where like if you don't set up everything perfectly, it's not going to go perfectly. So you're just trying to adjust. But most of the time I'm just thinking like, number one, am I making it deep enough? Number two, like where is the bar? And then number three, like, am I gonna make it over this?
You have
And
to
then
be
it's
pretty
like-
agile and flexible to make it over that bar if you're trying to go high, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say flexible. It's more just like it's all speed and strength. That's all it is. It's just speed, strength, and body awareness. And even then, you don't even need body awareness for the most part. So
The pole's
Mostly
doing
just
most
being
of the work
fast.
at that point.
yeah, I mean, after you're off, you have to give the energy to like you have to put the energy into the pole. But after you're off the ground, it's kind of just like doing like not trying to force anything, basically, like not trying to control too much and just kind of using strength to put yourself in the right position and not manipulate the pole, if that makes sense.
Are all the poles the same?
No. So like my poles are different from my teammates. Not in the sense that they're like custom, but like they all have like a weight rating or a flex rating is more accurate. So basically to flex a pole, you'll hang it on the ends and then they put like a 10-pound weight in the middle and however many centimeters it flexes is the flex. So like
Mm.
a higher flex means it bent more. So like a 20.0 is softer than a 15.0.
Gotcha.
So I jump on right now I'm on 490s, which are 16-foot poles. And like I'll jump on anything from like a 17.4 to a 15.0. And then like my teammates who's either bigger or stronger or faster, he might jump on a 16.0 to a 15 or to a 14.0. And you just kind of you start at the higher end of that range, and as the competition goes on, you move on to stiffer poles because you start to blow through.
Gotcha. That makes
Sounds
sense.
like golf clubs.
Just a little pole talk.
little pole talk.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, nice, man. Well, again, thanks for the time. Any other questions? Nothing there.
No, there was a lot.
that was
I learned
good.
a lot.
Yeah. No,
That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the only pole vaulter that's come through Parisi. We've got a handful over the years
Yeah.
and just time that have come through and done different things with us. I mean, it's a very unique, event, right? Like it's something that I think you got to have a little bit of, some brass to even try it because it's it's a little sketchy, when you think about it. And, obviously the athleticism that it takes to be able to compete at the level that you're talking about is just a whole different world of, discipline and being able to do things. But it's awesome, man. It's awesome to hear, from you from the end of the story. And, hopefully people listening in can kind of, take some big pieces out of that and just understand, one, where they're at, but then two, what it kind of looks like and how you kind of continue and what you're able to do. So again, I appreciate your time. I always ask everybody this. It's just the last question that we kind of do. What, and you can answer it however you want, I suppose. But if you were going to give like one piece of advice or one thing to the up and coming generation that is, and it doesn't necessarily have to be for track and field. It could just be for any sport. It could be for whatever. If somebody listens to your story and kind of is going to take something from it, what is that one piece of advice that you can give to them to help them kind of continue to move along and be able to, reach whatever their goals might be?
I would have to say it'd be like, do the things that nobody wants to do. I would say is like the short answer. Do all the things that nobody else wants to do. Because that's what's going to get you to the next spot. Because a lot of people see Division I athletics and they think, I want to do that. When in reality, if they lived a day in it, they would say, I don't want to do that. So if you start doing the things that nobody wants to do, they'll start to realize whether this is for you or not. For me, I started doing the things that nobody wanted to do, and I loved it. And other people will do the things that nobody wants to do, and they go, yeah, I don't want to do that. And that's fine. But you just have to prepare for that because every day of Division I athletics is the things that nobody wants to do. You can be a stud in high school, you're going to go to college, and you're just run of the muck. So even then, it's still doing the things that nobody wants to do. It's at every level. That's what's going to separate you from the pack, is doing the things that nobody else wants to do.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
it's great advice, and that's awesome. And hopefully that resonates with some people, and they heed that and actually pay attention to it because
Take headed up.
Okay, yes,
Take headed up
because it's a long road, man. It's a long road to get where you're at, and obviously, if the Olympics or something, even on the horizon, as we just talked about the numbers, like just imagine the jump that it takes and what it takes to get there, and every day that you're stacking days right now is the only way that you have the opportunity to even have a chance at trying to do that, right? And that's what separates you, your mindset, your discipline, your commitment, all of those things. So again, commend you on that. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me on. That was awesome.
Man. No, it's great. And I'll stay in contact with you whenever you come back into town. I know you're coming home for Christmas break, so swing by, come check out the new facility. We'd love to see you.
I will.
Kind of have you around, but
the ceiling tension bars are 20 feet.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Get you going on some of those. Yeah.
We'll
flying
have
around.
to.
But
anyway. Right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Where'd you go? I don't see Sean.
Sean just disappeared. Oh, that's all good. Well, we appreciate your time, man.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I never knew any of that stuff.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Sounds good. Have a good day.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
We can hear you. He just can't. You're fine, Ty. You can hop off. See you, buddy. Where'd you go, Sean?
I don't know. It just closed out of there. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, you're wired into my stuff.
Oh, yeah. Your audio will still be there. We just have no video.
I guess we'll just
do
our
close her
prayer.
out.
Yeah, man.
You don't need to see me anyway.
That's okay.
This is how I like it. No face. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this conversation with Ty. Pray for his health as he gets indoor and then into the outdoor season. And just pray for his studies to go well so he finishes his schooling strong and gets graduated and gets ready to roll in, or I guess he's already graduated. He's gets rolling into pre-med, but just pray that people watching this, they take what he's saying, they take the action themselves, they take accountability for themselves, and they're confident in what they're going after. So they're confident in themselves to move in that way. Just pray for anybody listening to this that they take headed of those words and really hit home and work for themselves, because the opportunities don't usually come knocking. So as we move on this week, Lord, just pray for our health and safety as we continue to move towards the celebration of your son's birthday, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, guys, that's episode 36. Episode 36 with Ty McPhail at the University of Louisville, pole vaulter, track and field. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
I don't get to see my advisor.